actually lethal saying that, isn't it, really? I don't know how it's going to go. We're not used to doing this, actually.
What, together?
No.
You're making another movie together, aren't you, right now? Have you started shooting that?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
You have to work together again?
Yeah.
Mm.
Jesus.
Okay,
Okay.
we're up.
Are we good?
Yeah.
Right. Well, I was at the screening last night, and my goodness, what a nice reception for the two of you gentlemen. You've got a few fans here in Toronto.
We just know them all on a first-name basis, basically. We have relatives here.
Yes.
Your relatives throw underwear at you?
Hmm?
Your relatives throw underwear at you? What's this underwear thing that Steve
Was there underwear flying around last night?
There's lots of people talking about you, Colin Firth and underwear in the same sentence, and I couldn't ever decipher any of the other words in the sentence, but
Yeah, I don't want my relatives' underwear anywhere near me.
No.
Absolutely not. This movie was so much fun. I had such a great time. I mean, what a gift, taking something from Noel Coward. I mean, you guys must have been relishing this, I think, when you were offered the opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, it can be. They can be pretty sterile, some of these things, I mean, if they're so revered, some of our, bits of heritage, that my first instinct sometimes is to run a mile from it. However wonderful the material is, I think it just, if it's going to be done in some formal nostalgic way, it's just dead.
Yeah.
So I was more into doing a Stephen Elliott movie, really, than a Noel Coward play.
Yeah, no, I mean, Stephen Elliott, my God.
I think what we were relishing about it was sort of defying it and messing with it and toying with it and being mischievous with it, under Stefan's kind of helming eye.
I mean, the material's fantastic. I mean, no one here doesn't love Noel Coward. It's just that, what do we do now?
Yes.
This is
What do you do after the second scene?
Yeah. What do you do after however many other adaptations people have done, or how many times it's played the repertory circuit?
Yeah, and I mean, I call this like meet the very posh, snooty British parents. I mean, it's very interesting when you bring home Jessica Biel, as your wife, and you're warming to her, but of course with Kristen, who is just fantastic in this movie. My God, just you already feel like the mean mother-in-law, the in-law thing already, bubbling. What was it like on set with all of you together, and then having Jessica, who is kind of the outsider in a way because she's the only American on set too?
Well, I think that did nothing but help in terms of the spontaneity. We didn't have any time for rehearsals. I met Jessica about 48 hours before we started shooting, and so I think that sort of fish out of water element probably really helped. I mean, particularly having Colin and Kristen playing the parents, sort of stalwart kind of British, very British actors, and to be involved in that, and then to have Jessica come into it, I think was something that it kept it very fresh. I think the fact that we didn't have too long to think about
we didn't
what
accept
we were
her.
doing. Yes.
And we sort of ganged up on her and made her life miserable.
Neither Colin nor myself felt any sort of affection towards
I can't even
Jess.
imagine.
Neither of us liked her particularly.
Not especially, really.
No.
Yeah. She makes the most of her.
Makes the most of what she's got.
She's got a nice personality.
Nice personality.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice girl. She looks good in those costumes too. She did
A
look
little
pretty nice in
frumpy.
them.
Yeah,
You thought so?
Bit frumpy.
Yeah, I
Frumpy
mean,
and
but in
tacky?
a way you
In an
can warm
earthy-
to. When you know her,
Earthy kind of next door.
when you know her, she becomes quite appealing in a way.
I actually can't.
She
let
can't
go
do
on.
it.
I can't. I actually can't do it.
He's too in love.
She's
Yeah, I could see that.
sensational
Yeah.
in every way.
Yeah,
she
I mean,
really
guys
is.
really. Oh, well, you all work together very, very well. Colin, do you remember the impending meeting of the in-laws when you and your wife were first together? Well, your fiance, I guess, at the time, years ago, having to meet her parents.
Yes, when people, I mean, unfortunately, few people have had the lack of imagination to hit me with this question, but it did come up in, I think, something somebody wrote about the film, is this whole business of relevance of it to today, which I always think is a rather banal question, really, because who cares? I mean, if it's good, it's good. Yeah. But it's. I did, and it's relevant. My God, an Italian family with all kinds of cultural prejudices. My wife had to bring home. I mean, she had been dating a guy who was about to be graduated medicine. He was a nice Italian boy who was friends with the family. Suddenly, that wasn't going to happen anymore. Instead, it was an Englishman. 1 strike against me. 2 strikes, actor. 3 strikes, he's nearly 10 years older. 4 strikes, he has a kid. He never got married, and all that baggage. Doesn't speak the language. but he's very nice.
Normally only 3.
Yeah.
And then
you're out.
Yeah.
So, believe me, yeah. I mean, I was in a Loretta moment in that every step of the way. So I had quite a mountain to climb.
It's a scary thing, you know, the impending in-law, girlfriend, boy, whatever. It's just to meet.
It doesn't have to be landed British gentry. It's you're two tribes meeting.
Absolutely, yeah. Now, Ben, your character breaks into song quite often in this film. Comfortable with
couple
that?
of times.
I'm not comfortable with that.
You're not,
but
no one cares what you.
Okay, because let's just put this out on the table here. Okay, we all saw Mamma Mia. Did you see Mamma Mia?
Oh.
No, I'm bringing it up because Colin.
Oh yes.
Colin, we didn't get to talk to you on the junket, and I was very disappointed because my favorite scene in that movie was our last summer.
Bless you.
Okay, and I'm not even ask these people how much I talk about this movie. Okay,
thank you.
And I sing it. I love that. You have the sweetest voice. I mean, you never cease to amaze me. He gets out there on that freaking boat with the guitar, and he starts the song, and I'm tearing up.
Oh, bless your heart.
No, seriously.
Thank you so much.
Like,
Thank
was
you.
there the battle of the voices here on the set?
There is now.
No, there isn't. Do you know what? It was a couple of times in the script that John sort of starts singing in a kind of very sort of easy, let's say fair kind of way. That's just who he is. If he feels like singing, he sings. If he feels like kissing someone, he does it. You know, he's just very kind of impulsive and spontaneous, like a Labrador, really. And that was sort of part of the better than a skinned cat. And that was just kind of it just progressed into this lovely kind of family feel where Jessica then sung the opening credits and we sing the end together, and he has a little bit at the end, and it just kind of evolved into something that became part of it, which is lovely, I think. And I think the music is a great part of why it doesn't feel like a period movie, because they have these contemporary songs with a period feel to them. Maris, who did the music, also did the music for Moulin Rouge. It's kind of got that very sort of progressive, fun feel to it. There's a moment in the film which is potentially a very stereotypical stuffy moment where you've got the man on the horse starting the hunt and he blows the horn, but because there's this little jazz beat in the background, you put the horn up and it kind of goes, and it's suddenly it's cool.
He kind of modernized it via jazz rather than trying to have some conceit of. It's been so overused now. I think this idea of putting rock and roll on something, that's period.
It's very cool. I love the soundtrack.
He didn't. He morphed it into something that has a contemporary feel without doing that.
Oh, it was wonderful. I love the music right from the beginning of it. It just had that great beat.
Quite amazing.
And you get to do the tango in this film too. Like I say, your talents just never cease to amaze me, Mr. Firth. Doing that with Jessica Biel. Practice a lot. It's a pretty good scene there.
Yeah. I mean, I was devastated when it was over. Actually, it was. I refused to go to classes for it, actually, because I just thought this is a lost cause. I cannot dance. It's not going to happen. I'm just a straight white English guy, and we don't dance. Simple as that. And I wouldn't go. And then they said, "Oh, you must go because the scene's coming up on Thursday." And I said, "You have to use a double. I'll do the close-ups and use a double." 5 minutes dancing with Jessica Biel. I said, "When's the next appointment?" When do we get to do this again?
I'm there very quickly. I know you guys are reunited again in Dorian Gray. Wow, what a great opportunity to do that! I think. Are you in the midst of that right now, or what's happening?
We're right in the midst.
Right in the midst of it.
Tonight we get on a plane, and we get off the plane and go on the set and resume this nightmare.
It's fast. It is.
So you can never get rid of each other.
No. Well, it was actually. I mean, in Easy Virtue, as much as we kind of got to know each other, there was only really a couple of interactions between John and his father, and they were actually really sweet moments. I think. They really are. They're not competing, but they really don't have any interaction in the story. So it's actually nice to kind of see that they actually do sort of care about each other a little bit and respect each other.
I noticed how isolated Whittaker is when I was watching the film, actually. I mean, he doesn't interact with anybody, really, until he finally does, if you know what I mean.
Yes, but there's that nice moment when he says, "John, I think you should go in," and there's that automatic kind of respect, and you don't really see that relationship. It's quite an interesting relationship that is unseen, and it's nice in Dorian Gray to have a much more intricate relationship to kind of explore.
Well, great job, you guys. I really enjoyed this movie. It was really a huge surprise. I loved it. I had so much fun enjoying it. And Geneva, oh my God, could stop crying from beginning to end.
Oh, really?
Congratulations on that one, too.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Keep coming back, you guys. We'll talk to you in Narnia, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you again, in the next little while, too. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming by.
Thank you.
Can I get a picture with the two of you?